The Commission introduced the idea of voting by internally displaced persons, IDPs. For this reason, a policy and framework designed by the Commission was revised and validated in 2018 for the 2019 general election. Today, the same policy has been revised and is being presented to stakeholders for review and validation ahead of the 2023 general election. The idea is to ensure that no eligible Nigerian is left out of the electoral process on account of displacement, disability, or other circumstances that may limit citizens' participation in the electoral process. What is presented to stakeholders today has taken into consideration several developments since the last review and validation exercise in 2018. First is the increased number of IDPs as a result of widespread insecurity nationwide. Secondly, to incorporate not only the displacement of citizens arising from armed conflicts, but also natural emergencies such as flooding. Thirdly, to align the framework with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, specifically Section 24, subsection 1, which empowers the Commission to ensure that, as far as practicable, no Nigerian is disenfranchised on account of displacement by emergency situations. Finally, to align the framework with the National Policy on Internally Displaced Persons 2021. I invite you all to contribute to the discussion at this validation meeting. What is presented to you is essentially a draft. We look forward to your input so that working together, we can enrich the framework as well as the regulations for voting by internally displaced persons. Beyond the validation of the document, we also look forward to a robust collaboration with stakeholders for voter education and sensitization, in this particular case, for the internally displaced persons. While we always appreciate our collaboration with all stakeholders, it has become necessary to make an important clarification in respect of a statement attributed to a section of civil society. At a media briefing yesterday, the Commission was accused of failure to display the voters' register as provided by Section 19, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. This claim is incorrect. What the Commission displayed for claims and objections in our local government office nationwide for a period of 1 week from 15th to August 2022 was not the entire register of voters, but the list of fresh registrants at the end of the fourth quarter of the continuous voter registration exercise covering the period 11th April to July 2022, as has been the practice for several years. Earlier, the Commission had displayed the register 3 times, 24th to 30th September 2021 for the first quarter, 24th to 30th December 2021 for March to 1st April 2022 for the third quarter. A comprehensive schedule of the exercise and display of the register was shared with stakeholders at our quarterly meeting just before the inception of the exercise in June last year. We wish to assure Nigerians that the Commission will display the comprehensive register in all the 1,809 wards and 774 local government areas and area councils nationwide, as envisaged in Section 19, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. This will integrate fresh registrants under the last severe exercise to to the existing register of 84 million voters. The date will be announced as soon as the Commission. The ongoing automated biometric identification system, the ABs, to weed out all double or multiple as well as ineligible registrants. We appeal to some of our friends in civil society to be guided accordingly. On this note, I would like to appreciate our development partners for the continuous encouragement and support, as well as all stakeholders for your presence. We look forward to your contributions to enable us to enrich and finalize this important document ahead of the forthcoming 2023 general election. I thank you very much, and you are most welcome. Thank you.
When we had to come together again with the Electoral Commission to look at the IDP issue and to ensure that people are enfranchised, are allowed to vote irrespective of their temporary status. And today, that is the same commitment this commission is advancing. They've looked at, reviewed the document to make it current and relevant to the 2023 elections, but they've not also done that alone. They've thought it right and fit to invite all stakeholders to be part of it, this journey, to ensure that this document reflects and enfranchise all IDPs who are eligible to vote. IFES remains ready and willing to support the Commission in this strive and in the successful implementation of the framework and regulations for voting by IDPs. We thank Inec for its continued collaboration and partnership. Inec should be assured of our readiness to continually partner with the Commission in achieving its mission of serving as independent and effective election management body committed to conducting free, fair, and credible elections for sustainable democracy in Nigeria. I would like to appreciate other stakeholders for their participation at this validation meeting, which highlights our collective willingness to work together to ensure that Nigeria's electoral process is truly inclusive of the needs and aspirations of marginalized groups. I want to extend our appreciation to our donors, the United States Agency for International Development and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, for their continuous and consistent support and commitment to enhancing credible elections in Nigeria. Finally, on behalf of IFES, we look forward to a productive validation session and wish you all a fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much.
One of the strong lessons from the exercise was the absence of a clear legal provision in that regard. Nonetheless, the efforts of the Commission subsequently yielded fruits in the amendment of the Electoral Act 2022, Section 24, subsection 1, which provides, in the event of an emergency affecting an election, the Commission shall, as far as possible, ensure that persons displaced as a result of the emergency are not disenfranchised, unquote. The legal provision provided an excellent foundation upon which to build a sustainable and strategic framework for IDP voting in Nigeria. The policy document proposed by Inec to guide the conduct of IDP voting operations and bring the IDP communities into the voting net is worth applauding and support from all stakeholders. There is need to also improve on the framework and the regulations and guidelines for voting by internally displaced persons, which will drive IDP voting operations for the 2023 general elections. The Commission should draw lessons from the 2015 and 2019 experience and efforts made, and also consult with knowledge holders at state and national levels, and also in consideration of international best practice. That will ensure that the framework document and the regulations and guidelines are grounded on practical realities. In all truth, the overarching guiding principle for the IDP framework by the Commission is a demonstration of commitment to inclusivity which is consistent with the avoidance of discrimination in our electoral process. INEC's commitment to its mission to serve as independent and effective electoral management body committed to the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections for sustainable democracy in Nigeria is not in doubt, as it ensures that persons displaced as a result of emergency are not disenfranchised. I wish to commend this effort and ask all relevant stakeholders to look at the document with a view to giving it a very good and positive critic, so that all efforts towards the 2023 general elections will be geared towards giving every Nigerian the opportunity to vote and be voted for. I wish us a fruitful deliberations in carrying out these noble objectives. Thank you very much.
DEI is the implementer of the first component of the EU SDGN, a program you might have known in its first phase from 2017 to 22. First phase closed, and the EU was generous enough to go through a second phase, which is now being implemented by some 10 partner organizations, one of which is DEI, who is responsible to work mainly with Inec on the election, on the post-election, and even on the election in 2027. So therefore we are very, very pleased to be part of this, and I want to thank the Inec chairman and the Inec team to have invited us to be part of this very important workshop today in the development and validation of the policy for the IDP framework. So I want to refer here maybe to an international kind of guideline, which is the National Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations, which says everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives and through periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal suffrage. And this, of course, lays out a very good baseline for the inclusion of all walks of people, including IDP, including persons with disability, youth, women, and other disenfranchised groups. And there is another principle, there's another guiding principles, which was also formulated by the United Nations on IDP inclusion in a document ratified in 1998, and which says IDPs shall enjoy in full equality the same rights and freedoms under international and domestic law as do other persons in their country. They shall not be discriminated against in the enjoyment of any rights and freedoms on the ground that they are internally displaced. So this is opens the door to really do the best possible to have the IDP community included in the democratic process. And I'm really glad that the Inec makes a commitment to international treaties and international conventions, which they have also lined out in their strategic plan. And Inec has, since 2015, since the IDP paragraphs in the law were drafted, have continuously looked at, reviewed, and improved the regulatory framework of the inclusion document for IDPs. So IDP voting is an operationally complex and politically often very delicate affair. And I think with this framework, which is presented to you today, there is a solid foundation laid, which needs the buy-in from all stakeholders, from political parties to the security services, to Inec, to the IDP community, to the civil society, to make it work and make inclusion not just a lip service but reality. So I really want to thank the Honourable Chairman of Inec to have us invited here. I want to thank the European Union for having provided us with the means to be part of this and part of the election process. And I wish everyone a blessed day and fruitful deliberations, and thank you very much for having us. Thank you.